Hello everyone, in this video we'll understand big omega notation, right? I'll be taking a graph. On x-axis I'll take n. What is n here? Number of operations or statements. Now this y-axis is time axis t. Now my function is f of n. Now this is f of n. Now I'm taking approximation function to this f of n. So that approximation function is c into g of n. So this particular approximation function I'm drawing on this graph, right? See here. Now this is approximation function, right? Now you observe, after certain point of the n naught, what is happening? This approximation function c into g of n is decreasing relative to f of n. Now this is what you need to observe. Okay, right? So now I'll establish a relationship between f of n and this particular c into g of n. Okay, right? I'm writing this f of n is always greater. Now this f of n is always greater from where? From n naught onwards. So I'm writing this f of n is greater than or equal to. Now at n naught both are merging at same point. Now both are equal. F of n and c into g of n are both are equal at n naught. So now I'm writing function equation f of n greater than or equal to what? This particular c into g of n. So from where this particular inequation is satisfied, from where? From n greater than or equal to n naught onwards, this particular thing is correct, right? Okay, now this n naught must be always greater than or equal to 1 and this c must be always greater than 0. Now what is c here? C is a constant. Now this is what relationship between f of n and g of n. Okay, now instead of writing this particular statement, what I'll do? I'll write f of n is equal to big omega of g of. This is what big omega notation, right? Now when I write big omega of g of n, what is this g of n? G of n is lower bound function. Lower bound function of f of n. Lower bound function of whom? F of n. Right? Now you see, this is a lower bound function. This c into g of n is lower to the f of n, right? That's why this is a lower bound function, right? Now this lower bound function g of n, this g of n gives what? Best case time complexity of function f of n. Okay, now this is what very important. Now we'll see example. Consider f of n is equal to 2n square plus 3n plus 1. Okay, now it is to find c into g of n. For that, what you need to do? I need to take f of n. What is f of n? 2n square plus 3n plus 1. Okay, now consider largest degree term. Now what is the largest degree term here? N square. Okay, consider largest degree term without coefficients. So when I consider largest degree term without coefficient means what is the resultant? I'll get n square. Now this n square is c times of g of n. I have calculated. When n square is equal to c times of g of n, what is my c value now? C is equal to 1. What is my g of n? N square. Now I can say f of n is greater than or equal to c times of g of n. Can I check? Yes, I will be writing 2n square plus 3n plus 1 is always greater than n square. Of course, it is greater than n square. Why? You substitute n naught is equal to 1. When n naught is equal to 1, obviously this is particular thing is satisfied. When it is satisfied, now what happens? This particular n square is a lower bound function. Lower bound function of f of n. So when this n square is lower bound function of f of n, then I can also say this n square is best case time complexity. Yes, this is a best case time complexity of f of n, right? So finally what I can say, f of n is equal to big omega of n square. Okay, what is f of n? 2n square plus 3n plus 1 is equal to big omega of n square. Now for this particular function, the best case time complexity is n square. This is the best case time complexity. So in the next video we will discuss big theta notation. Okay, thank you.